All right, folks, before we get started, I want to thank the sponsor of this video. This video is brought to you by Aspyr. More specifically, some classic Star Wars games they have going on sale right now. Those games would be Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, and Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. And they're 50% off on Nintendo Switch and Xbox One, 50% off on PlayStation 4 with PlayStation Plus, 40% without. On PlayStation 4, the sale goes on until January 19th. Xbox One and Nintendo Switch goes on until January 21st. So strike while the iron's hot. Click the link below, go to aspyr.com/Star Wars. Relive some great Star Wars games. Episode 1 Racer, you kidding me? Had a lot of fun with that game back in the day on N64. Episode 1 Racer is also arguably the reason pod racing existed in Phantom Menace at all. It's not a movie game, you know? It's a game that's inspired by an event in a movie, but it just takes you through some interesting Star Wars worlds. It's a fun racing game. They have racing on Malastare. Very fast, very dangerous. And the Nintendo Switch version of the game incorporates motion controls you can use. So again, click the link below, go to aspyr.com/Star Wars, get your retro gaming on. Party like it's 1999, but in HD. And thank you once again to Aspyr for sponsoring this video. I do appreciate it. All right, now, starting over. All right, now we talk about WandaVision, complete with 4:3 aspect ratio, black and white coloring, and a laugh track. Right. Laugh tracks. They make everything funnier. True. You ever see the clip of Friends where it's Ross without the laugh track? He's weird. Also, spoiler alert, I'm going to talk about spoilers for the first 2 episodes of WandaVision because that's just how I talk about TV shows, I guess. Spoiler warning for the first 2 episodes of WandaVision. You've been warned. So anyhow, WandaVision is a new series. It's on Disney Plus. Stars Wanda and Vision, as the title would entail, and is executed like a mid-century sitcom. It's just it's what we have to go on. And I feel like that's how I have to judge it because that's all this show gives me, you know? Like, we know some bullshit's going on, right? We know some fuckery's going on because the MCU isn't a mid-century sitcom. But you don't know why it's bullshit, you know? You're like, is she in the good place? Is she in some sort of snap purgatory? Is she in that episode of Batman, the animated series, where Batman figured it out because all the words and books were all scrambled around? You don't know if she knows it or not. I know that she can manipulate realities, but nothing in the MCU has ever shown me that she could do that. So hey, maybe this is the start of that. You know, comic books and their comic book adaptations on screen, they're different, you know, like, because she's Magneto's daughter in the comic books, which could be now that they have the X-Men, which would actually be really awkward because Quicksilver's her brother. Quicksilver is also Magneto's son, but the Quicksilver that's Magneto's son is not the same Quicksilver that's her brother. It just, anyhow, it's beside the point. No, but you know something's up. You already know that because you're already very familiar with the MCU, which is kind of working against WandaVision because it's relying on your attachment to the MCU to keep you intrigued. I know that because if you're judging it based on these 2 episodes, if you're judging this show based on just these 2 episodes, it's not that intriguing. Actually, not that clever a sitcom either. I mean, I know it's a bullshit sitcom. It's like a parody of a sitcom, but it's not executed that way. It's executed like a couple episodes of a sitcom. Here's episode 1 of WandaVision. It's Wanda and Vision's anniversary. Wanda's planned a very romantic dinner with Vision. Vision thinks he's supposed to bring his boss and his boss's wife over and they're gonna have a couple's dinner. Wanda's very unprepared for that, so she has to prepare a meal in the kitchen without them figuring out that she wasn't prepared. All right, and then here's episode 2. Vision eats a stick of gum, which gums up his inside, so he acts all weird and loopy and drunk the entire time. But while he is weird, loopy, drunk, and literally gummed up on the inside, they have to perform a magic trick in front of the town. So shenanigans ensue! Like, that's what it is. That's all it is. Point is, this show doesn't give you enough of that intrigue to really hook you and keep you going for the rest of the show, at least in the first 2 episodes. I mean, it gives you a couple of glimpses at the end of the first episode. It's like it zooms out and there's a TV where it's like the Dr. Claw view with just an arm with a remote, and someone's watching WandaVision on TV. It looks like the super evil lair. It kind of looks like the Batcave, to be honest with you. The arm of one of the Turks from Final Fantasy VII is watching WandaVision on TV. You're like, okay, that's weird. But it was just one thing in the first episode. It was at the very end. It's just this one quick glimpse. Then in the second episode, you know, on the radio, you hear some voice coming through like, "Oh, Wanda, who's doing this to you?" And so that's what you have. Also, some beekeeper looking dude crawls out of the sewer and then time goes backwards and it's like it didn't happen. But these are very quick glimpses of things. That's all you have. The other 58 minutes of these 2 episodes put together, because each episode is a half an hour long, it's not that funny, it's not that interesting. I would just much rather prefer the intrigue being built up by interesting character interactions, interesting tension that's building. It's just none of it really happens in the first 2 episodes of WandaVision anyway. And this is where I do understand why shows release episodes week to week still in a world where some shows just release everything at once. Because it keeps the internet talking, you know? If you look at Mandalorian, people were talking about Mandalorian week to week. The chatter lasts a week, and then the next week rolls around, there's another episode, and that chatter lasts a week. So you get a lot more online chatter about your show. YouTube videos go up, it feeds the machine, they get more out of it that way. I totally get it. Whereas you look at the Netflix formula, Cobra Kai, people talk about it for a week or 2, and then it's done. But I really think WandaVision would benefit by releasing all the episodes at once. It's like WandaVision was filmed and executed as a show where all the episodes would go up at once. So these first 2 episodes that were just a subpar sitcom, that'd be fine because you could binge the whole thing. So by the end of the day, you have your answers and the intrigue builds throughout. So an hour of sitcoms, it works. And here I am in my head going, okay, is the whole MCU being a part of it working for it or against it? You know, like, I mean, if you showed a control group these 2 episodes of WandaVision, like, all right, what do you think? Most people would be like, why the fuck do I care about this show or the characters? There were no interesting interactions in there. And as an intriguing drama, mystery, Twilight Zone-esque thing that is executed like a sitcom, it's not that interesting. But with the MCU backing it, it's easy to be like, yeah, you know, I'll give it a chance. We'll see where it goes. It's not that I'm not intrigued as to what's going on. I am. But I am because I know the MCU and I know this world isn't what the MCU is. So obviously something's fucked here. But that's my knowledge of the MCU making the show intriguing, not the execution of the show itself. I really think the setup, which is these first 2 episodes, just dragged on. At first it was kind of cool, clever, and different. But then I'm like, okay, let's get on to actually getting to the interesting part of this weird Twilight Zone world. But we never got there. It was just some grade B sitcom, and I was like, all right, on to the 3rd episode next week, I guess. I don't see a world where these 2 episodes couldn't have been reconciled into 1 episode. As the show goes on and starts coming into focus, maybe it'll hit the vibe of that twisted Twilight Zone reality I think they might be going for here. But for my money, I think they should have hit that in the first couple episodes, that being the first impression among people watching the show. I don't know, man. I feel like a grumpy dick. I don't like being a grumpy dick, so I'm gonna go ahead and speed this up. We're gonna get to the end of this. WandaVision, the first 2 episodes. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? Whatever you thought, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.